Part 6. The Frightening Theories. My friends, after the daring intrusions into room 428 of Wilson Hall, many began to wonder, why exactly did that room become such a terrifying hotspot of hauntings? Could it be that the cause was not only the tragic death of the girl long ago, but also a far darker secret hidden in its history? The first and most frequently mentioned theory: Wilson Hall was built directly on top of an old cemetery. Sounds like something straight out of a horror film, right? But the truth is this. As far back as the 19th century, the campus of Ohio University was surrounded by numerous burial grounds for local residents. And when the university expanded, some graves were moved, but not all. There are whispers that right beneath Wilson Hall still lie dozens of untouched graves. If that's true, then it's no surprise that one particular room would become the epicenter of supernatural disturbances. The second theory: Wilson Hall might sit on a spiritual energy nexus. Some paranormal researchers believe there are certain places where psychic energy is intensely concentrated, like a gateway between the living world and the afterlife. It is said that room 428 is the very center of this energy, a place where every feeling of pain, fear, and tragedy is magnified. And that is what trapped the spirit of the girl, keeping her bound to the room, unable to move on. But another theory is far more chilling. Some believe Wilson Hall once hosted occult rituals. Whispers claim that during the 1960s-70s, a secret group of students used room 428 to perform rites and spells. They believed the room was the perfect spot to reach out to the other side. The rumor goes that it was those rituals which opened the door for something to come through. And once that spiritual door has been opened, it can never be fully shut again. The young woman who died later may have simply been an unfortunate victim, ensnared by that darkness. There's even a spine-chilling tale told among students. During a renovation of room 428, workers discovered strange symbols carved behind the bricks of the wall. These markings resembled occult signs, not normal letters or words. No one could explain their origin. But immediately after, the workers refused to continue and left in silence. That story only made Wilson Hall seem more suspicious than ever. Of course, there are also theories with a more scientific flavor. Some psychologists argue that rumors, collective fear, and the tragic story of the girl created a mass suggestion effect. In other words, perhaps there are no ghosts at all. Perhaps it is the shared obsession and paranoia of the students that causes them to imagine sounds, shapes, or eerie happenings. Sounds reasonable enough, but then the question arises: how do you explain the audio recordings, the blurry photos, or the steel door rattling in the dead of night? Could all of that really be just hallucination? As you can see, the more theories there are, the more mysterious Wilson Hall becomes. Each person believes in something different, but everyone agrees on one point: room 428 is no ordinary room. And that is exactly why it has become a hotspot, attracting not only students, but also ghost hunters, researchers, and even thrill-seeking tourists. In the next part, I'll tell you about both the official and secret expeditions of paranormal investigators inside Wilson Hall. What did they record? And is there truly evidence proving that room Vormheim is haunted? Part 7. The Paranormal Investigations. My dear friends, after countless rumors and theories, room 428 of Wilson Hall quickly became a sacred ground for ghost hunters, paranormal researchers, and thrill seekers alike. Everyone wanted to set foot, just once, in the place often called the most haunted dorm room in an American university. And of course, more than a few investigations were carried out, some official, others completely secret. One of the most talked about investigations took place in the late 1990s. A local paranormal research team was granted permission to enter Wilson Hall after hours. They brought along an arsenal of equipment: infrared cameras, temperature sensors, motion detectors, and, most importantly, an EVP recorder designed to capture voices from the other side. At first, everything seemed normal. The hallways were silent, the atmosphere heavy, but nothing unusual. Then, as the clock struck midnight, the sensors went wild. The temperature near the door of room 428 plummeted, nearly 10 degrees Celsius in just seconds. When they played back the EVP recording, the team froze in shock. Amid the static, a faint, fragile voice whispered, "Help me." No one in the group could explain it. Another investigation, this time organized by a group of daring students, produced equally chilling results. They snuck into Wilson Hall at night, armed with nothing but a handheld camera. The shaky video shows them laughing, chatting, nervously joking around. But as they approached room 428, the microphone suddenly captured a blood-curdling scream, echoing right in the hallway. The strangest part? None of them heard it with their own ears. It was only when they played the tape back that the scream revealed itself, leaving them shaken to the core. Not long after, a professional ghost hunting crew attempted something even more daring, spending the night on the 4th floor of Wilson Hall. They spread out along the hallway, cameras recording from every angle. Around 3 a.m., one camera captured the steel door of room 428 trembling violently, as if someone trapped inside was pounding, desperately trying to get out. But when the team rushed over, everything fell silent again. What disturbed them most, however, was this. In the slowed-down footage, at the peak of the door's shaking, a faint silhouette of a young woman appeared, standing just beyond the cold steel barrier. Of course, not every expedition was successful. Some yielded no evidence at all. Skeptics pointed to these failures as proof that the haunting was nothing but folklore. But others argued, if Wilson Hall truly is haunted, perhaps the spirits within don't always choose to reveal themselves. As one researcher once said, paranormal phenomena are like fish in a dark lake. You don't always see them, but that doesn't mean they aren't there. What makes Wilson Hall so different from other so-called haunted houses is the consistency of its phenomena. Year after year, generation after generation, despite lockdowns and sealed doors, whispers, strange sounds, and eerie events continued to center around room 428. And with each new piece of evidence, the legend only grew stronger. Many students swore that just stepping onto the 4th floor was enough to feel an invisible weight pressing down on them, as if unseen eyes were watching from within the shadows. My dear friends, these investigations left us with countless unanswered questions. But one thing is undeniable. Room 428 has become the very symbol of fear at Ohio University. Its story spread far beyond the campus walls across America and eventually became a subject of newspapers, books, and even paranormal television shows. In the next part, I will tell you how Wilson Hall be part of American culture itself, how it inspired horror films, folklore, and earned its place among the most famous haunted destinations in the United States. Bạn có muốn Part 8 mình viết theo hướng ảnh hưởng văn hóa đại chúng, phim, sách, show TV, hay nghiêng nhiều hơn về truyền miệng của sinh viên và người dân địa phương?